Hello, everybody. This is Ron Ake. I'm the host of Second Chances on Life podcast, where we help people with substance use disorders find and get the help that they need and deserve. And we think by talking about this, bringing it out in the open, and people hearing other people's success stories of how they got help and came out the other side, that they'll know that they're not alone. They are loved, they are wanted and needed, and that there is help out here, and there is a life out here worth living for, and a life of purpose at that. So today's episode we're going to talk about is doing life on life's terms and doing it one day at a time. So before we get started, we're going to give thanks to the people that I give thanks to every time, and that's my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, my wife Carla, my son Dakota, Seth Wadley himself. Thank you, Seth, for everything. The Seth Wadley Auto Group. They're a very supportive group overall. And I just want to thank the people that are being supportive of the ones that need the help, because it could be you sometime. So I just want to make that clear and give thanks where thanks is due. I want to thank Rob's Ranch and all of its counselors, all of its staff, all of its clients, the Pastor Steve. I want to thank everybody. That place is amazing, and the food's amazing. The place is amazing. And I want to thank all the families that support the people of addiction, whether you're supporting a loved one or family member or somebody or a friend that struggles with addiction, or if you're supporting someone that has decided to go to work in the field of addiction. It takes a special person to play that supportive role and to be that person in someone's life. And I just want to give thanks for, where props and where thanks is due. I don't know that those of us with addiction issues could be that loving, supporting person to someone, at least not in our addiction. Now, once we come out the other side and we have clear mind, heart, and spirit, it'd probably be a little easier to take on that supporting role. But in our addiction, I don't know that I could have ever been that supporting and loving to anyone. So I want to thank, Landmark Church in Justin Blankenship. He's the pastor there. That place is amazing. If you ever have a chance to go to Landmark Church on a Sunday, there's 3 services. I highly recommend it. It'll change your life. That place is working miracles, and same as Rob's Ranch, it's working miracles every day. And if I've never been to a church and walk out of there feeling as filled with the Spirit as I do on Sunday leaving Landmark Church. So, excuse me for the sniffles. I've got a cough drop in, and if I clear my throat, I apologize. I do it on every episode, and I can't not do it, so I apologize ahead of time. So, we want to start and open up by saying the Lord's Prayer. Excuse me. And if you go to a faith-based organization like Rob's Ranch or the Hope Center, you will learn the Serenity Prayer and the Lord's Prayer. And I like saying it on these episodes and try to help you learn it ahead of time. I do pray before I hit start on this camera that the Lord use me and give me the words and use me as a vessel to try to help somebody out there. So if you hear something in any of this that helps you or just helps one person not experience some of the pitfalls and struggles that me and some of my brothers and sisters in this sobriety world have faced and done and lived, then it'd be all worth it. So if you would, we're going to say the Serenity Prayer real quick. No, we're going to start with the Lord's Prayer tonight. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So that is the Lord's Prayer. And like I said, you will learn it. And we'll probably wrap up with the Serenity Prayer. But today's topic is doing life on life's terms and doing it one day at a time. So that's a little easier said than done, especially for those of us with addiction issues. We're going to start off, and we've all heard that term, do life on life's terms, but do we really have a choice in the matter? Life's going to come at us whether we're ready for it or not. So the real answer is no. We don't have a choice in the matter. We have to take on life on life's terms. The whole difference is how we decide to handle it and how we react when it comes at us, and when obstacles come at us and rise up, we got to know and be prepared on how to handle them, and handle them in a healthier method and way than we're used to when we're drinking and drugging. So we do have a choice in the matter on how we handle things, and if we're going to tackle things positively or negatively. We do have a say in that. Some people don't think that's accurate, but it is. Just like if you're going to have a good day or a bad day, we have the ability and the choice to make the right or wrong decision. And it's just a matter of how we look at it, how we accept it, and how we take it, and what we do with it. So, but life will always be here. Every day that we're blessed with another day and another breath, life's going to be here, and we got to learn how to tackle it and take it on. It will always come at us full speed every day also. So I'm going to keep looking down at my notes because I want to touch on some things and make sure I get my pointers covered here. I sat here and wrote this out and made some highlighted notes that I want to be sure and touch and address. Excuse me. I apologize. But it's going to come at us full speed, guys and gals, and we got to be able to handle it when it does. And hopefully if you go to rehab, you're going to learn some tools and some things and methods on how to cope and how to best tackle and handle these things when they do come at you. But it will come at us full speed. We have to make a decision about how we're going to handle it and its obstacles and challenges when they hit us. We cannot hide from life forever. That's a fact. Now we can't. We're used to numbing our pain, and we can't hide from it forever. We may get away with it for a little while, numbing it and escaping and getting away for a little while, but eventually we have to face it head on and as it comes. And we just gotta. Alcoholics and addicts try to numb out the pain of the world by booze or pills or drugs of whatever choice, and it works for a little while. At first it'll help you escape and numb out the pain, and help actually get some sleep and peace of mind for a little while. And even if it's a few hours, sometimes it feels like it's justified and worth it. I know, I've been there. But there is a better way to cope. There is a better way to handle things. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that tonight. We are in my office tonight in Ada, Oklahoma at Seth Wadley Ford. And 2 nights ago when I was recording, there was 3 police cars pull in the middle of the night, and it was a little spooky. And I've already spoke with one this evening. So it's a little strange, but hopefully one day we'll have a good place to record from and work from that might not be as dangerous or skeptical as it can be here late at night by yourself at the car lot. So when that day comes, we'll be happy for it, and I'll be happy to announce it when it does. But we do, as alcoholics and addicts, try to numb out the world, and at first it does work. At least for a little while. But soon there will come a time where we need more and more chemicals and more substance to accomplish the same numbness and the same effect. And eventually it just keeps taking more and more and more, and then it starts having less and less and less effect. And then what? What are you going to do then? So we've been using chemicals and substances for so long that we now are using more and more of it. And when it stops working, what are you going to do then? I mean, it's the devil's tool, and he's going to keep making it worse and worse on you until you either do something about it, you break, or he's going to take your life with it. It's a losing combination of events, and it's just a spiral, downward spiral like a toilet. When you flush that toilet and see that water spinning and going down the pipe, that's what your life's doing if you're going to spend every day in addiction instead of recovery. So I just want you to be prepared for that, because every day is going to come at us full speed. So how are we going to take it? How are we going to tackle it? But we have a void or a hole in us that we try to fill, and eventually that hole and that void keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it takes more and more to fill, to the point to where I just can't feel it anymore. I can't numb the pain. I can't escape this, and I'm getting real sick and tired of living like this. So at that point, eventually you're going to have to make a decision. You're either going to let it take your life and take you down that toilet, or you're going to do something about it. So eventually it will take everything from you: your family, your pride, your dignity, your job, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your pride, everything from you, and eventually your life, if you let it progress to that point. It will kill you until you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you make a stand. But in my experience, it took me finding my all-time new lows, and I don't wish that on anybody. That's why we're doing this, is to try to help anybody, if it's just one person that we can help, from experience and suffer some of the things that I've experienced and suffered from, and some of the other people that have already been through it and recovered. It's our job and our duty to spread the word. It's like finding a cure to a sickness and trying to keep it to yourself. You can't do that. If you found and stumbled on a cure for a cancer or an illness or a sickness, you can't just keep that to yourself, man. You got to tell the world about it, and you got to help as many people as you can with it to not suffer. So that's basically what this is once you find a recovery and find your faith, and you find a new way and a new life out here and a life of purpose, you got to help as many people as you can find the same thing. That's the reason I believe my life was spared, and I believe that's why your life is spared. If you've been through it and you've come out the other side, you have a voice, you have a story that will help other people. And I believe it's our duty, and I think that's what God wants us to do, is to use that voice and use that story to help others. I truly do. I think that's the only reason I'm still here. But I was out of control. I was out of control runaway train. I've said that on other episodes, but I truly was. I'd have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, and I'm shaking so bad I can't stop shaking. I'm bumping into the door, going into the bathroom, slams against the wall, and I wake my wife up, and I'm shaking, and I have to go find a bottle that I've hid in the freezer or in the pantry or in my backpack or in my golf bag or in the garage or somewhere, and take a big drink or two just to stop shaking. That's pretty pathetic. Then I'd wake up in the morning, and I'd wait for her to go to work so I could make a drink so I could get ready. And then I'd make another one for the way home, or for the ride to work, rather. Then we'd leave at lunch. We'd go have some drinks at lunch. And then after work, I'd make a drink. And when I'd get home, I'd drink. It was just a nonstop merry-go-round of madness, and I couldn't get off of it. As much as I wanted to, I had no control anymore to stop that merry-go-round and that madness. But like I said, I was a full-blooded runaway train and fully out of control, and it was time to do something about that. But I was just tired of living my life that way. I had to hit my knees and ask God to either take me or help me. I was I was to the point to where I didn't care if tomorrow came, and I just asked the Lord to either take me or please help me. And I'm thankful now that it was the help and not the take. But at that point, I was ready to do either. And thank goodness that it was help and not snuffing me out. But I believe even though my wife and son knew, they probably the only ones that knew about how bad my addiction was and how bad it had become. I think just me and the Lord were the only ones that truly know or knew just how bad I was, spiritually, mentally, physically, everything. I was getting to be in pretty bad shape. I was going to the hospital on pretty regular routine schedule because my organs hurt. I had a swollen pancreas, swollen liver. My blood wasn't clean, my mind wasn't clean, and my spirit sure wasn't clean. And I was miserable. And I woke up miserable every day. And I was tired of it. So I don't wish that on nobody. And those of you that know what I'm talking about and can share in some of that, I feel for you, man. And you're not alone. You're not the only ones that fall on your face and feel that way. There's been many of us for many, many years. There's been many of us that's walked that trail in front of you and felt the same thing. So don't ever think that you're alone. You're the only one feeling like this or thinking like this. You're not. There's been a lot of us that have felt and done things feel just like that. So I'm going to try to turn this ringer off right quick. I thought I did that already. I apologize. But there we go. You have to get to your own bottom. And everybody's bottoms are different. So don't ever discount what you've been through that someone else should, reach a new load like you did. Everybody's bottoms are different. They don't all have to be living on the street and hitting rock bottom, living on the street to hit rock bottom. Everybody's rock bottom's different. It's going to look different. It's going to feel different. But at the same time, everybody's bottoms might be different, but there's a lot of similarities also. All you have to do is attend an AA meeting, an Al-Anon, or a Celebrate Recovery meeting. You will hear stories that you can relate to. There might be some, detail differences or whatever, but there's going to be some details in there that you can relate to too on most of them. But so I just finally hit my knees, like I said, and I asked God to take me or help me. So you have to admit to yourself that there is a problem, and you have to go in there, look in the mirror, and look at the problem. And the problem is you, and you've got to look through there, and you got to admit to that person looking back at you that there's the problem. I'm looking at it, and that's not to go in there and beat yourself up or get any crazy thoughts in your head or anything like that. But it does take you acknowledging there's a problem first, and it takes you looking in the mirror and realizing that problem's looking right back at you, and that is you. And no one forced a funnel in your mouth and poured the toxins in your system. You did that on your own. And it's time that you pull yourself up by the bootstraps, dust yourself off, ask the Lord for help, ask others for help, and be willing to take the steps necessary and put the work in to get the results. And it's tough. It's hard. Some days are harder than others, man. And temptation's never going away. It's always going to be out there. The world's always going to be out there and come at us at full speed like we're talking about. We just got to develop the toolbox and get the tools in that toolbox and learn the techniques and stuff that we need to handle the obstacles when they come. So hopefully you get to this point before you lose everything. Before you lose your job, your family, your friends, your dignity, your confidence and self-worth, your mind, and or your life. So hopefully you're not as hard-headed as I am and as some of us are. You can see the signs, hopefully, and you can get the help that you need before you hit rock bottom like that, or go that deep into it. But you have to seek help from God first and then from others. But don't think it's going to be easy. If you go get sober and all my problems will be gone, you think, that is not the facts or reality, my friends. That's not going to happen. That is just not going to happen. I just hate to be the bearer of bad news. Getting sober is the best thing you could probably do for you, yourself, your family, your job, your loved ones, and all that, and your future. But it's not going to be easy, and that's not. Life's just not going to fix itself just because you got sober. Those same problems are waiting for you when you come out of the rehab. And they say in rehab that your problems are still waiting for you at the gate, and they've been doing push-ups and bench pressing, getting stronger and meaner while you've been in there. So they're going to be polishing up and sharpening their sword, so you need to be doing the same to combat it. And that is a fact. There's some days out here that's just plumb frustrating, man, and makes you want to throw in the towel, like, what's it all for? Well, that's just the devil, and if you don't know how to combat it, and you don't know how to hit your knees and ask the Lord to help you and get you through it, and help you get you over this hump, you're gonna be in for a harder, rougher day than you want. I promise you. Part of this is it's just life's going to come at us. We're blessed to have each breath that we take and every day that we're blessed and given. But if we go into it with blinders on, thinking it's going to be easy just because we're getting sober and that's going to fix everything, I just want to tell you it's not. You're going to have to learn some things while you're in there and to cope with it when it comes. But as a matter of fact, I mean, things could get worse, because you used to have the drugs and the alcohol to combat things and to numb up and to deal with, and now that they're gone, you're going to really have to deal with it for face value and for what it is. But I can promise you that once you get through it and get on the other side of it, it's more than worth it. I can just promise you that. Hopefully you can take me for my word for it. I can tell you, if you can fight through it without drinking and drugging, you're going to get stronger with every time, and it's just well worth it. The life's so much better sober than it is trashed, I can tell you. But hopefully if you go through rehab, you've learned all the tools that you need, and you've taken notes and you've paid attention, and you learned some coping mechanisms and how to deal with some of this. And but be prepared to fight and fight hard. Never give up or surrender. It's never going to be easy. In fact, you might expect some pretty damn tough times coming at you. But you can do it, just like I did. If I can do it, you can do it. And it will be worth it. So we're going to kind of start tapering things off. This might be a little quicker this evening. It is getting late. I'm getting tired. I've got to get to bed and have another 10, 12-hour day facing us tomorrow. So I probably going to just leave it at that. We say on most episodes, you can't eat an elephant in one bite, but you sure can with a lot of bites. And it's the same as we can't change the world overnight, but we can sure make a difference and make an impact one person at a time. And just by helping one person at a time not suffer some of the things that we've done and that I've done and suffered would be all worth it. If you like what we're doing here and you'd like to help, you can, if you work in Seth Wadley especially, you can contact me. I'm easy to find in the directory, or you can email us at secondchancesonlifepodcast@gmail.com, and that is the number 2 on second. S is on the end of chances, on life podcast@gmail.com. Drop me a message. I'll be happy to get back to you anytime. I'll pray with you, talk with you, listen to you, cry with you, whatever we need to do to help you. And when we get a website up, I'll have the help and support lines listed, and that you could go to our website and find and get the help that you need. Rob's Ranch, the Hope Center, the suicide and prevention line. We're going to have them all listed. And I just want you to know there is help out there, and you need it. If you're eat up with your addiction and you don't know which way to go, please seek some help. And if you see someone struggling with addiction, anger, anxiety, depression, please reach out and be sincere and reach out and ask them, are you truly okay? Because you could make a difference and you could be saving someone's life. And if they choose to open up and talk to you, please just shut up and listen and let them talk. And maybe you can help point them in the right direction when they're done talking. But you can be a shoulder to lean on or cry on if they need a hug, or pray with them, cry with them, talk with them, But do more listening than you do talking. That's the key. But Joe Pello says, make your bed every day. Put your shoes or boots under your bed, and when you're done making that bed and got to get on your knees to get them shoes or boots, you might as well thank the Lord for the day, ask Him to help keep you sober for that day, and get to the Lord before the world gets to you. And that's some solid advice, guys. If you find that the world's getting to you a little bit too much and you feel the urge to, like me, for that volcano to erupt, or you want to go start drinking, we've talked about some of the exercises, the breathing exercises, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth with your eyes closed 3 times slowly. If you need to repeat it, repeat it. If that doesn't get you where you need to be, stand up, look straight down at your feet and stare at them for about 60 seconds. And think in your mind that the Lord has me where my feet are. I'm not here by accident. The Lord doesn't make mistakes. So be where your feet are, and just look down and stare at them. It's like, I'm here for a reason. He's never going to give us more than we can handle. He's never going to leave or forsake us. Even though we may turn our back on Him, He will never leave us. And you need to know that. But if all else fails, go to your car and pray and breathe and do your breathing treatments and talk to the Lord and ask for help. Or just get yourself away from whatever's causing you the pain or discomfort or anxiety or depression. Excuse me. But you need to take just one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. Don't worry about next week, next month, next year. Just worry about today. If you can stay sober today, that's all that matters. Tomorrow will work itself out. We'll worry about tomorrow, but today we're going to worry about today. We got to learn to keep our side of the street clean and let the other side handle itself. Just like in the serenity prayer we're about to say it. We might as well go ahead and say it right now and talk about it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. We need to learn that prayer because you need to learn to live that type of life. Easier said than done. I have to carry a 24-hour coin. It's the only coin I carry in my pocket, and on the back side of it has a serenity prayer. And it's huge. If you just break it down, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That's huge. If we just work and focus on the things that we do have control over and the things that we can change and manage, and let the stuff that we can't change and manage or have any control over go. That's what we mean by keep your side of the street clean, handle what you can handle and have control over, and let the rest of it go. The other side of that street over there is someone else's problem. Whether it's a spouse, a relative, a co-worker, whatever it is, you can only handle so much. And you worry about what you can do and what you can change, fix, and handle and correct or make better, and let the rest of it go and let the other people worry about their part. It'll make the world so much smaller and easier to maintain and control, I promise you. But it is easier to talk about than it is to do. It's just like everything else. The more we practice it, the easier it becomes. So I'm going to end with the Christian's prayer. And I believe it was Billy Graham and his son I've seen on TV for years, giving the Christian's prayer, that if you was to take your last breath tonight, that you know that you would be spending eternity in heaven. And if you want to know that and you don't have that confidence and know that that would happen, but you want to, then you need to repeat the prayer after me. And I will go through it with you here. I just want to make sure I covered all my notes right quick. I believe we have. But the biggest thing is knowing that if you close your eyes, that you're going to be in heaven. And you have to admit that, God, I'm a sinner. I'm sorry for my sins. Please forgive me of my sins. I believe that Jesus Christ is your son. I believe that he walked on this earth and that he was tortured and hung on that cross, and his blood was shed to pay for my sins. And I want to accept you into my heart, Lord. Please come into my heart, and I will follow you and choose you as my Lord for the rest of my days. But you have to know that he was on this earth and he was hung on that cross and tortured, and blood shed was to pay for your debt of sin, so you would have a pathway to spend eternity in heaven. And when he buried him and laid him in the tomb, and he rose from the grave 3 days later to defeat sin and death, that and that bloodshed on that cross is what paved the way for us to have eternity in heaven. And if you know these things in your heart and you accept him into your heart, then you too will spend eternity in heaven. But I'm going to leave it at that. Just remember, I love you, God loves you, and I hope you have a blessed day.